Racism is still prominent. Racism is institutionalized. The country is built upon racism, so racism is still very much in our society. So after the Civil War, there was no commission on like peace, so we never really healed from that first particular encounter that we had against racism.
Yes, I think that racism is still prominent. I think that it takes different forms than what it used to, and it's not necessarily as outwardly expressed, but I think that racism and race is still an issue.
Every single aspect of our society contains racist notions, and college campuses, being one of the ways that you disseminate knowledge, is very much has racism ingrained in it at its core.
I grew up with a family that didn't really have a college background, so I wanted to be one of those to show not only my family but my community that we could do it as well.
My family were the ones who were like, you don't want to end up like me, so you have to go to college and you have the opportunity and we'll figure it out. So they were the ones who kind of gave me the motivation.
Well, this is really cheesy, but I have hopes of making a difference. And I think that a college education helps people, not only readies them for an actual career, but allows people to educate themselves as far as issues and things that are going on in society today.
My cause is to probably just to like better my own personal future, as well as like taking care of my family who never got the opportunity to have like a good education.
In some reason, yes, because most people see Latinos to be unsuccessful, so like they expect you to kind of fail. So to have that pressure to prove those people wrong kind of does like make me think that I have to be better than everybody else.
People expect less of you because of you being a minority, or based on any racial stereotypes that they want to categorize you with.
Because you're Latino, you have expectations that are too demanding sometimes, and the way that they expect you to be on top, or just like you're not like they're never satisfied to what you.
I can't say that there's any like blatantly obvious things that have happened in regards to my like stay here, but I do think that there are things that happen that wouldn't happen if I was a different race or a different ethnicity.
Yeah, so the first time that I was introduced to a member of the board at my institution, he asked the white woman sitting next to me about 4 times who I was. Repeatedly, he didn't really understand that I was the university archivist. And after this, about a week later, there was another function, and he, he's a prominent man, privileged man, so he paid for the band and he paid for foods and such. And I was sitting at the table with all of my other faculty members. He asked every single one of them to dance and skipped me, did not ever acknowledge me, and has since then never acknowledged me. So that's one of the biggest ones.
Once I was told that I only got into a summer dental program because I was a minority, and they favor minorities, so anybody who is a minority will be guaranteed to get into the program.
One time on my dorm, my roommate took this guy from the rodeo team, and he pretty much told me like, you have to go back to your country, or he told me, because I was listening to like Spanish music, and they were like, oh, you need to listen to English music because you're in America. Or one of my professors told me, I told him like, hey, I speak 2 languages, I might be harder to to like write papers, stuff like that, but I need your help, so I'm gonna go to your office hours. He's like, if you're not capable of being here, quit the class.
Being called exotic, being stopped on the street in Laramie and asked what my people were doing, if we were starting to engage in war, and I said absolutely, that white people needed to get their shit together. So yeah. UW? No. So racism is a white problem. White people built institutions that discriminate against people of color. So white people need to build systems that dismantle those institutions. So UW needs to ensure that the white youth is educated as to how they can dismantle these notions, if they so care to. And they do not care to do that because white people do not care in dismantling those notions.
I want to say yes. I think it's a very complex issue that often gets oversimplified, not only within the UW campus, but also within society in general. So I do think that UW has a mindset and has a goal that diversity and people of all different backgrounds are welcome. But I do think that there can be more done.
I feel that I'm really worried about my students now more than I was before when it comes to DACA. I feel like there's an urgency, and I feel that there's an urgency to politicize the youth like there's never been. And so I was engaged before, and I feel like I'm 10 times more engaged now. A lot of my coworkers stopped and talked to me as to see how I was doing. It's been intense, and it's been weird. And I have no sympathy for white people. None.
If DACA gets what am I gonna be left with? How am I gonna be able to continue school? Like, am I gonna be able to think about furthering my education? Like, what am I left with?
After that date, I think that I began to examine the relationships I have more closely, and to truly unite with people and find common ground with people that actually believe that social equality and justice is something that should be on the foremost mind of everybody.
What else can I do? What am I gonna be like? Should I go back to a country that I don't know? Because I've been here my whole life.